Welcome to the Explainer. Today, let's set the scene. Imagine early Medina right at sunrise. The air is crisp, there's a bustling energy everywhere, and the stakes are just incredibly high. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, has just called the Muslims to join a major, seriously difficult mobilization known as the Expedition of Tabuk. Now, this wasn't just some routine journey. It was an arduous undertaking that required immediate action, intense preparation, and absolute deep commitment. Well, this brings us to a highly relatable human element in our story. Enter Ka'b ibn Malik. Now, Ka'b was a sincere believer. He was perfectly healthy, he had the means, he had the physical ability, and he fully, 100% intended to go on this expedition. Yet, he hesitated. He fell into a trap that I know every single one of us has fallen into at some point: procrastination. He didn't refuse to go, he just delayed. Now, what's really interesting about this is how perfectly it captures the psychology of delay. I'll prepare tomorrow. Honestly, how many times have we said exactly that? Ka'b watched others packing and leaving, thinking to himself, hey, I've got plenty of time to catch up. He kept telling himself he'd get his gear ready the very next day. But tomorrow became the next day and then the next. This simple, seemingly harmless, and incredibly common trap of procrastination caused him to miss the departure entirely. And suddenly, the army was gone and he was still sitting there in Medina. Fast forward a bit. The expedition concludes and the Prophet returns to Medina. And this is it. This is the exact moment where Ka'b has to come face to face with the consequences of his delay. He has to explain exactly why a healthy, capable man stayed behind while everyone else endured the immense hardship of the expedition. The reckoning has arrived. Ka'b approaches respectfully, with his head lowered, knowing full well he has absolutely zero valid excuse. Let's just pause and slow down for a second here to really reflect on what happened next. Because Ka'b's decision to be entirely honest, it didn't result in an immediate pat on the back. Actually, it triggered a severe social consequence. Because he admitted he had no excuse, he was ordered to wait for divine judgment regarding his case. And during this waiting period, a complete social boycott was instituted. He was plunged into a crucible, a severe, intense test of his character and his commitment to the very truth he had just spoken. 50. For 50 entire days, Ka'b was completely isolated. Just let the gravity of that number sink in. 50 days where people deliberately kept their distance. 50 days of sitting totally alone in prayer and deep reflection. The psychological weight of being cut off from your community, your closest friends, and your leadership, it's staggering. This was a deeply, profoundly difficult personal test, and it was a direct consequence of his honesty. It looked, for all intents and purposes in the short term, like honesty had completely ruined his life. But look at how he handled this immense pressure. He faced the test completely alone, but his internal resolve, it never broke. He remained incredibly patient. He trusted Allah entirely. And perhaps most importantly for our understanding of why honesty brings ultimate success, he never regretted speaking the truth. Even in the deepest depths of his isolation, even when the days just dragged on, his commitment to honesty never wavered. He knew deep down that an easy lie would have just eaten away at his soul forever. And then, finally, the darkness broke. The conclusion of those grueling 50 days was marked by a bright, beautiful sunrise over Medina. The isolation was over. People were literally rushing to him, their voices echoing through the streets, offering him their joyous congratulations. His test was complete, and he had emerged from the crucible totally transformed. His unwavering commitment to the truth had led to the most extraordinary vindication. Those congratulations were because Allah had officially accepted his repentance. His honesty was so profound, so incredibly sincere, that it was literally immortalized. His story is permanently referenced in the Quran itself, specifically in Surah At-Tawbah, verse 118. The Quran honored his honesty forever, proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that truthfulness leads directly to divine forgiveness. By choosing the difficult truth, Ka'b didn't just save his integrity, he secured his legacy and achieved the absolute ultimate success. So the crucial point is simple. Always choose honesty, even when it is incredibly difficult. This isn't just some dusty historical anecdote. It's a blueprint for our own lives. The easy lie, sure, it might save you today, but it is going to cost you tomorrow. The difficult truth might hurt you today, but it will ultimately elevate you. Ka'b's story proves, once and for all, that honesty is the only foundation upon which true, lasting, and ultimate success can be built.